For more on this, let's bring in Catherine Rampell, opinion columnist at the Washington Post. So, Catherine, let me ask you, President Obama traveling to Capitol Hill to talk to Democrats about preserving Obamacare. What can we expect from that?
I think the main challenge for preserving Obamacare at this point is a marketing one. That basically Americans hate the thing that they know as Obamacare, or at least they're very distrustful of it, but they like most of the actual components of the law. Almost everything within the law, with a few minor exceptions, minor or major exceptions, are quite popular. So the challenge for Obama for preserving his legacy and the Democrats is convincing the American public that the things that they like are the things that they might potentially lose if Republicans get their way.
So what are the Republicans' priorities other than repealing Obamacare?
Other than appealing Obamacare, which might happen immediately but might not go into effect immediately. Sooner than that, we could probably expect a major tax cut for both corporate and personal income taxes. We might see an infrastructure bill. We will more likely see a rollback of financial regulations, Dodd-Frank, for example, and a rollback of other kinds of regulations. I mean, there's a lot of legislation that has been teed up for years, essentially. There's like a big stack of bills that Republicans have been trying to get through. They voted through, but were not successful, obviously, because there was a Democratic president.
And what role do you think that President-elect Trump will actually have in shaping this agenda?
It's a good question. At this point, it looks like Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell will mostly be setting the agenda because, as I said, they already have these pieces of legislation teed up, and for the most part, Trump has expressed support for them. On some of Trump's other agenda items, things like TPP, the trade agreement, it seems like Republicans are likely to go along, and well, going along just means they don't have to do anything, essentially. Right. But as for immigration, for example, or trade or other kinds of trade measures such as tariffs, I think that he'll have more of a challenge in getting those through a Republican Congress.
What kind of resistance from Democrats do you think we'll be seeing to this GOP agenda that they're going to try and push through?
Well, they have limited options at this point, particularly in the House. In the Senate, they can filibuster. They can, at the very least, obstruct some of Trump's cabinet nominees, not probably in the long run, but they can delay hearings. They can demand more information. In the House, there's very little that they can do. They can try to be obstructionist in both chambers, but they don't have majorities in either place. So it's going to be very challenging for them to put up much of a fight.
All right. I'm curious, last question before I let you go, Catherine. What do you think of this infrastructure spending that's been proposed by the president-elect? Because as you well know, there are Republicans that have looked at that as it's come from the Democrats, namely President Obama, and said we can't afford to do that. Fiscal conservatives, particularly within the Republican Party, can't stand the idea of having these projects which often cost in the billions of dollars. What do you make of that?
It really depends on what the infrastructure legislation ultimately looks like. Trump was not particularly specific during the campaign, or even in its aftermath for that matter, about what this project would be. It looks like it'll probably be financed through tax cuts of some kind, which obviously Republicans are more amenable to, but we don't know the price tag yet. We don't know how it'll be structured. We don't know if it'll be basically a giveaway to existing construction projects as opposed to new building. So those details will really matter for who signs on and who doesn't.
All right. Catherine Rampell, thanks so much.
Thank you.